Alright, what's happening, people? Take two on this one. We've got Russia conscripting citizens to military reserve to fight in a war against Ukraine. Now, I thought it was military reservists, not conscripts. That's a whole different picture that's being portrayed. Now, we all saw what happened with the best of the best, and now they're bringing in conscripts. Man, there was like young kids basically getting captured, and they were allowed to call their mommy and daddy. Yeah, it's pretty messed up, man. It doesn't look like we're going to have world peace anytime soon with Mr. Vladimir Putin announcing things like this. Now, I don't mind this guy. Coin Bureau basically has a tweet saying, you know, the Communist Chinese Party is talking about linking up their COVID passes to restrict more freedoms. Now, I'm sure the people in China are quite, you know, they're aware of this, and if they speak out against it, you know, they're taken around the back and shot in the head. But doesn't mean that people can't cover this and be like, did you know this is what could be coming to a country near you? Now, that might sound extreme, might sound crazy, but who would have thought many years ago that we would have all been locked down? Who would have thought that, you know? Who would have thought that free speech could be targeted? Well, apparently it is. Now, I'll go on to that later. But if you look at this here, even without a central bank digital currency, we do have credit cards. And if you or I use a credit card, you are giving a ledger to someone else that they control, they maintain, they can track. Basically for accounting purposes, but also to, if they need to, draw on for information about you, your projected earnings, what you do with your money, whether or not it's being done lawfully or illawfully. I'm not sure if that's a word, but you understand what I'm saying here. Imagine if a cashless society was brought about, and then say they brought in other regulations. You can't buy XYZ, you know. Just imagine, do you even need a central bank digital currency for control to be placed on all of us? Well, my argument is no. But this is interesting. They're 24 attorneys generals sign letter warning visa to drop plans for tracking gun sales. So there you go. This is what I mean. Well, I didn't actually say it. I thought it in my mind. But when stuff like this does happen, it's going to take things to take place in the real world. Whether it's us trying to inform others to become an alert citizenry, whether or not it's actually hiring people to act on our behalf, things like that, you know. I'm just an average Hexagon, so if I'm aware of this, I'm sure a whole lot of other people are aware too. And thank you to the internet, we can all hook up and, you know, do what we do best. Break the matrix. Now, this article goes back to August 23. It's kind of like a reverse timeline here. We got feds didn't just sanction Tornado. I'm assuming they're talking about the not just the website, but the actual code itself. They forget code is free speech. Legal precedent says code is protected by the First Amendment. I did not know that there was a precedent already set, so I thought I'll dig a little bit deeper, because we generally know what took place in regards to certain addresses being sanctioned by the US, you know, in the US. Not something you want to do, you know, go against the sanctions or piss off the US government. Now, this article here, I'm not even sure. Yeah, this is like it's almost the equivalent of a blog at this stage for me. It's called The Legal Protection of Digital Information. I found it through a search. It does have this interesting paragraph. Now, I'm not a professional lawyer. Sorry, not a lawyer at all. This is not legal advice. This is just me reading some stuff on the internet, you know. Chapter 3, Copyright of Digital Information, had on the webpage, communication does not lose constitutional protection as speech, simply because it is expressed in the language of computer code. Mathematical formulae and musical scores are written in code, i.e. symbolic notations, not comprehensible to the uninitiated, and yet both are covered by the First Amendment. There you go. I did not know that. We also have this here, going back a little bit further in time. We've got 2018. Is code free speech by this particular website? I was just making sure that's showing on the screen. We do have whether code is covered by free speech is actually pretty settled. The answer is yes, said this individual, a technology lawyer and affiliate at the Berkman Center for Internet and Society. You know, sounds like this person knows what they're talking about legally, as well as a clinical instructional fellow at the Cyberlaw Clinic at Harvard Law School. Well, that's some pretty impressive credentials if you ask me. Again, you would need to read all these articles for further context, but I thought I would just point these particular highlighted sections out. Moving on to the economy, we are seeing, on top of Mr. Vladimir Putin's annunciation of world peace, the Fed is planning to dump on our heads further by allowing us all to experience massive amounts of pain in the economy. We got here a chief US economist at Morgan Stanley said the Fed had yet to see the pain it believes is necessary to tame inflation. Pretty sure it came out. They were suggesting that there was a survey out suggested that basically March 2023 was a date where maybe they might raise rates until and then leave the economy in a state of absolute wreckness, because they know once they try and pull back the interest rates, very strange things are going to take place. They're going to break the economy. Look into that. Now, we have here, that's why I keep saying Armageddon, Armageddon, Armageddon. But relative to the Armageddon, I believe Hex is actually faring pretty damn well if you look into the code itself. You know, something protected by free speech. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell nearly 1,300 points, or 4% on the news. A good indication of how much pain most people are expecting to come next. So that 11k Bitcoin, that call may well be in play. 11k and pray, I'm pretty sure we all heard someone call. And so far, regarding crypto, that person has been extremely accurate. Now, it's also worth to know, you know, this is some crazy person on the internet, you know, some crazy conspiracy theorist, or, you know, some constitutionalist, or whatever they may label individuals as. So articles like this do come out, not so much related to code itself, but generally social media's treatment of individuals and the argument of free speech. Now, the headline itself, you can see the Fifth Circuit social media decision, a dangerous example of First Amendment absolutism. It has a lot of information that is worth consuming if one does get the time. I'm not going to break it down because I will butcher it. So instead, what I thought I would point out is people in the real world are making real world actions to try and improve society, I believe. There are also other people who disagree with this stance. I would like to quote, "The 11th Circuit tried, but struggled. The 5th Circuit didn't even try. He's hoping that the Supreme Court does a better job in censoring people from censoring people from, you know, cutting back on people's free speech. He's hoping that the Supreme Court allows social media tech giants to censor us all better, including code. You know, just FYI, everyone. All right, that's about it. This one can probably go up on YouTube. I don't think I've said anything too crazy. Thinking. No, that's about it. All right, signing out.